What does it mean when a teen calls someone an NPC? I am a teen myself, and I hear other teens at work calling me and other people that. I have no idea what it means. My daughter refers to herself at her job as an NPC. She says she goes into NPC mode at work. Kind of fake happy. Having to humor the customers. Laugh at the same silly jokes every day. Okay. Thanks. Have a good day. Repetitive. Non-player character. A generic person with no opinions of their own. It's kinda like calling someone generic or unremarkable, but also it requires knowledge of video games to understand, so it doesn't land all the time. A boring person lacking in any original thought and personality. Non-player character is the acronym. The characters in video games other than the player. Controlled by the game. Its use as an insult is implying that, like an NPC is a game, the person has no opinions of their own but are acting out their programming. Doing and thinking what they're supposed to do instead of having true agency. Someone who's pretty generic or boring with no real opinions that aren't influenced. Although it's overused and anyone who disagrees with someone is an NPC apparently. They're basically saying you lack intelligence and other basic human attributes. Just like a NPC in a video game. It's an insult. And one that means you're bland on autopilot, incapable of being original or having a unique thought. It stands for non-playable character. Ironically, the people who use this as an insult typically are the most shallow, bland, unoriginal people themselves. Next time someone calls you an NPC, just say okay and then nothing else. Nothing triggers a troll more than not giving them a reaction. It's the best. I am a teen myself, and I hear other teens at work calling me and other people that. It means they're assholes that don't treat you or your coworkers with any respect. They're talking like you're not even a person. It means they think you're a sheep. NPC stands for non-player character. In video games, NPCs repeat their limited dialogue every time you talk to them. They don't think. They only say the few things they were programmed to say. As a slur, it means precisely the same thing. You've gotten the definition from others. But the meaning is that they're trying to dehumanize you, suggest you don't have the agency or importance they do. Tell them to go fuck themselves. NPC is a game term that means non-player character. NPCs only say what they've been programmed to. And in many games only have vapid or uninspired things to say. When someone is called an NPC in real life, it's calling them someone who doesn't think for themselves and only repeats what they've been conditioned, programmed to say or respond with. Saying they're possessing no true opinions or internal monologue of their own. You are generic as hell. It's like saying they are so unimportant that they have no agency. Just a mindless drone, non-player characters in video games that just do repetitive actions. It's basically a person who mindlessly follows the rules and has no personality. Non-playable character. New generation's way of calling you a tool. Non-playable character. It's like saying that you're a part of the environment and not a real person. It means they have main character syndrome, where they value others only in relation to their interaction with them and consider those who don't cater to them non-persons. Non-player character. It's an old TTRPG term. Like an extra in a movie. It's like saying you're a background prop or that you play an insignificant role in their big picture. As in, not a main character. It's dismissive and derogatory in the context OP's workplace experience. You're inconsequential to them. Where I live, it means you're incapable of original thoughts because you're pre-programmed just like an NPC. Everything you say is predictable because someone gives you your talking points on the news or Twitter or something. Non-player character. I love that term. I'm 30 and use it with all my friends all the time. It means you have no soul. Calling someone an NPC is ironically also calling themselves an NPC because they're just parroting what they've seen on social media. Ignore them. Non-player character. Someone who only plays a background role. Someone of little importance. It's an insult. Jesus, were we this embarrassing at that age? Probably yeah. Sounds like you got a bunch of nerds working with you, man. Call them as such. It means you should ignore them. It's a way to tell someone they can't think for themselves and usually insinuating that you're stupid and aren't able to change your view because you're stuck in your NPC dialogue. Everyone's covered the NPC definition already, but no one's really mentioned the fact it started out on 4chan as a way to dehumanize non-conservatives. The irony, of course, being that modern conservatives are knee-jerk contrarians who get spoon-fed their opinions by cable talking heads and braggart social media morons like Donald Trump and Andrew Tate. It's an offensive term. It's like when someone acts like a gaming NPC, you know, where they seem to do odd things or behave in a manner that regular humans wouldn't. Wait a minute, you guys get to play as different characters. Did you buy the season pass or something? I just stuck as my shitty old asshole self. I would love to play as someone else for a while. It means they're repeating talking points with no critical thinking skills. At our outside, which explores reality through the lens of a video game. Calling people NPC is banned. We may not have insight to other players' minds, and they may be operating in a scripted way doing their job. But calling someone an NPC removes the humanity from someone. Literally says that person isn't a player, which is dehumanizing. Just means sheeple. Also speaks to the sorts of online spaces these teens are hanging out in. The kind where it's normal to ironically and often not ironically dehumanize people that aren't in their in-group. At its worst, it's cult-like behavior. The group has the secret knowledge and everyone outside the group is lesser lost, waiting to be led by them. Also lots of Andrew Tate wannabe incel fuckknuckles. They're telling on themselves calling people NPCs. Or they're just having a laugh. It can be hard to tell. Non-playable character. From video game. At best, it means someone is not relevant to discussion or decisions to be made. At worst, it mean person is irrelevant and can be ignored broadly. Basically, they're calling you an idiot and only following what mainstream media tells you. Non-playable character. Pre-programmed without having a thought for yourself. If you disagree, you're probably an NPC yourself. It means they're an asshole. Calling someone an NPC is the ultimate NPC behavior. Talk about canned and unoriginal. Ironically, quite an NPC thing to say nowadays. It's just another way to say basic. I'm not a parent, but if my kids said that to me, they would soon find out they aren't the MC either. It's conveying the idea that someone doesn't have original thoughts or inner dialogues. They just act on impulse to all stimuli. Yeah, basic.